Good evening, children. Today we will do practical number 3, and as usual on a new sheet you'll write down today's date 19/7/2020, and today's practical is also on transpiration, where the aim of experiment is to compare the rate of transpiration on the two surfaces of a dorsiventral leaf using cobalt chloride paper. When we were discussing the theoretical part of the lesson transpiration, I'm sure you remember this experiment using cobalt chloride paper on a dorsiventral leaf. So just 2 points to revise before you understand this experiment. There are basically, children, two types of leaves. The first category we call as dicot leaf or a dorsiventral leaf, whereas the second type is called as a monocot leaf or an isobilateral leaf. Now, how to differentiate? The differentiation is very easy. Number one, the leaves which are dorsiventral, they have a venation like a network or a web-like structure. There's a major midrib present. When you can see this prominent thicker, this is called as midrib, and the veins that are on the sides, they are divided and redivided to form a reticulate or a web-like structure all throughout. Alright, so this is reticulate venation. Whereas monocot or isobilateral leaves, they have a venation that you call as parallel. In this you will not see which is the main midrib, unlike this. All are almost in the same direction and nobody is thicker than the other. The second difference is, in such leaves, stomata, that are minute pores, are more in number on the lower surface. Now remember, children, lower surface is also called as the dorsal surface, whereas lesser stomata are present on the ventral surface or the upper surface. Remember, children, the side of the leaf that faces the soil is the lower surface or the dorsal surface, and the upper surface is also called as the ventral surface. And that is why we call such leaves as dorsiventral surface, right? Because the dorsal and ventral sides, they have different number of stomata, more on the lower side, and upper side has lesser number. In comparison to isobilateral, why they are called iso? Iso means same. That is, both the lateral sides of the leaf, monocot leaf, they have equal number of stomata, right? So in the given experiment, this experiment that we are going to do today, you will be using a dorsiventral leaf. I'm sure you've understood, children. We are not going to use this monocot leaf, but we will use this dicot or dorsiventral leaf. So this leaf should be attached to the plant like this. All right. It should be not plucked from the plant, should be very much intact. And we will be using cobalt chloride papers, glass slides, and rubber bands, etc. So let us see the requirements of the experiment. A well-watered potted plant, obviously dicot plant you're going to use, glass slides, rubber bands, filter papers, cobalt chloride solution, desiccator, and Vaseline. Desiccator, children, it's a device used in laboratories to keep any object away from moisture. Alright, it's made up of glass, it is made up of a structure, something like conical base is there, and there is a lid at the top. There's a desiccating agent that we keep here, right? This is a desiccating agent, and anything that you have to keep here, it will be kept totally away from moisture, because this desiccating agent, it absorbs moisture from the device, that is the instrument. So anything that you place here for 1 day, 2 days time, it will be totally in the absence of moisture. So let us see how you proceed. Aim is clear, requirements are clear. Moving with the procedure. Dip small pieces of filter paper in 5% cobalt chloride solution, COCl2 solution. We'll dip the pieces, then dry them and keep them in the desiccator till needed. That is, it will totally dry it. So that means once the paper is dried, this will, if brought in presence of moisture, might change the color, but keeping in desiccator, it will be kept in a dry state. COCl2 paper is blue when dry and pink when moist. I'm sure you remember, children, this experiment. The cobalt chloride paper is blue in color when it is not having any moisture, that is in a dry state. But the moment it absorbs moisture, it changes to color to pink. Now, select a well-watered, healthy dicot plant. Clean the upper and lower surfaces of a leaf with dry cotton. Place dry cobalt chloride paper strips on both upper and lower surfaces of the leaf like this and cover immediately with glass slides and hold the glass slides in position with rubber bands. Rubber bands will secure the glass slides nicely over the leaf. Then, hold the glass slides in position with rubber bands. Smear the edges of the glass slides with Vaseline. Now see, you have to make it totally airtight. So wherever the glass slides, the edges are touching each other, we'll apply Vaseline to make it airtight. Note the time taken by the cobalt chloride paper strips to change its color from blue to pink. Alright, so what you will see is that the ventral surface of the leaf, that is the upper surface, right? The upper surface, what will it do? It will either remain blue or it will change to very, very light pink in color, and that too in a very delayed time. The reason? The stomata are less. So therefore less transpiration. But the lower surface, or what you call as the dorsal surface here, this will change into a bright pink color and in very short time, proving that there are more stomata and therefore higher rate of transpiration. So this time period we will note the time taken by the cobalt chloride paper strips to change the color from blue to pink. Observations. Next heading. This will be the fourth heading. Observe the cobalt chloride strips. The one on lower surface turns pink much earlier, within a few minutes, whereas the one on the upper surface takes longer time to turn pink. The change in color of cobalt papers indicate that the papers have received water from the two surfaces of a leaf. Conclusion. The quick change in the color of cobalt chloride paper on the lower surface indicates higher rate of transpiration from this surface than from the upper surface. It is due to the presence of more stomata per unit area on the lower surface than the upper surface. And lastly, the heading precautions. First, use dry forceps to handle cobalt chloride paper. Second, wipe the leaf surface gently with dry cotton. Third, handle the leaf gently. Fourth, seal the edges of the slide with Vaseline completely and gently to make it airtight. The cobalt chloride paper, the last is fifth, the cobalt chloride paper strips should be dried completely and kept in a desiccator till needed. So that's everything that you need to write, children. Once again, starting from aim, requirements, procedure, observations, conclusion or result, and precautions. Right? I hope the experiment is clear. It is already done theoretically, but this is how you're going to write in your files. This will be practical number 3. And coming to diagrams, children, there will be 2 diagrams to draw. First is this diagram that I'll be sending you, the entire thing writing plus diagrammatic part. So first is this diagram. If you want, you may color it with pencil colors only or crayons. Please do not use any watercolors or sketch pens, absolutely not. Only crayons or pencil colors. So you may color the diagrams. And here, the second diagram will be this. So I am sending the matter that you need to write and draw, children. Try to complete the practical at the earliest. Today, 19th, I am giving the work and try to complete it because the next practical I will be giving you by 24th. Alright, thank you.